What's going on, everybody? I had to put this one up together really quick because I'm actually selling this guy. So I wanted to go ahead and do the DSL and the Friedman JJ JR and kind of compare those two to say, hey, is it worth the extra $1,000 or so to pay for the Friedman compared to the Marshall DSL20? This is the HR version, so it's the newer version, so it has the high and low, so the attenuator here, I guess that's what you could call it. So first we want to go through physically what's different about these and what makes one better than the other. All right, so the Friedman I know has a direct out. It also has an effects loop and it's emulated out as well, so you can get some good tones going through straight through to PA if you wanted to go that way. So you could still just play this live and have some volume on stage. Probably won't be great for a metal band, but you can totally get away with that going through the PA system. This one, on the other hand, it's more of a headphone jack. So it's a 3.5 millimeter jack for the emulated out. So that means, I think, I'm not positive, but I think you can just stick your headphones into this guy and play it and it'll have an emulated speaker sound. It also does have an audio in this as well. It does have an effects loop, so you're good there. So the biggest difference between these two is being able to use this direct out with, you know, like a balanced out. You can use an XLR to go out of this guy. So, I mean, the money's there. It better be, right? So it should have the direct outs and all that kind of stuff. So now let's actually go ahead and play some of this stuff and see what they sound like. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have everything at noon, except for the volumes. I already checked those guys. We're good on that. One thing I did notice is that the Marshall does have the reverb and the Friedman doesn't have a reverb. So you're kind of missing that on the Friedman, but you would think if you're paying $1,000 more for this guy, you would get all the bells and whistles. All right, so let's go ahead and check out the clean channels on this. Okay, so on this guy, we're going to just do the clean and we got the gain halfway. So it's probably a little bit of breakup. So let's actually go ahead and start back at around 9 o'clock. Let's see if we can get some nice. So the clean is actually shared. We have a shared EQ here, so we can use this to make any kind of changes to it. But we're just going to mess with the gain with this one, so let's check that out. We're going to go up a little bit. Right there, I got the gain over around like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. So let's go over to the Friedman and see what that sounds like on the clean. Let's go ahead and push the clean volume. Well, with this one, you're actually pushing the preamp tube here. There's no separate gain knob for the clean channel, unless I'm mistaken. Let's try it. All right, that's just for the, yeah, that's just for the gain channel. So let's go ahead and push this one up. Let's go all the way up. sounds like this doesn't even have a shared EQ at all, to tell you the truth. So there is a bright switch here. And I had that all the way up at the moment, so this is all the way down. Back in the middle. Okay, back to all the way up. So that's pretty much it. I do have these attenuated, so I am pushing these pretty hard. So I'm probably getting a little more breakup than I typically would. All right, so let's go ahead and go over to the gain channels on this, okay? We're gonna go ahead and start with the Marshall. Okay, that sounds great. I really dig how that sounds and feels. This is all with the EQ all at noon. So I'm actually pretty good with the way that sounds. So let's go over to the Friedman. Switch to channel here. All right, and let's see what this one sounds like. Okay, definitely a different characteristic. There's more of a, it's a little thinner sounding, I would say. Maybe the mids are pushed a little more. Note that we also have the JBE switch turned to the left. So there's different voicing when we go over to the right here. So let's go ahead and check that out too. Get some Jerry Cantrell tones there. Okay, let's go back to DSL. Interesting. Totally different characteristics going on here. The DSL definitely sounds like the mids are cut back. So it's kind of lays back in the mix, I would think, a little more. So you probably have to push the mids a little bit. But the Friedman is cutting through. But it still has that like a little bit of a honkiness to it. Like it doesn't sound as full. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and start messing with the EQ here because I'm not liking where that's sitting. Now where this is sits at noon, I'm totally cool with. So let's go ahead and pump some bass, right? Let's compare. DSL. So much more bass. Back to the Friedman. Let's see if we can cut back the mids. All right, let's see what that sounds like. Okay, DSL. Man, I mean, this DSL sounds great. So let's go ahead and push the treble on the Friedman. Right now we're still on the DSL. Let's go to Friedman. I think I'm starting to get a little more of it. Let's actually cut back this switch, the JBE switch. Okay, that's more of the characteristic of the Marshall that I'm liking. So here's the Marshall. Okay, back to Friedman. Okay, I'm liking where it's sitting now. I might even cut the presence back a little bit so I can get a little more punch out of it and push maybe the treble a little bit. Back to the DSL. Man, there's just a punch to this Marshall that this Friedman is not able to do. So let's go ahead and cut the presence back and push the bass all the way up. And it's kind of funny. This is all set to 11 and the noon portion is 5.5. Must be a Jerry thing. But let's push that treble back. Let's see where we're at now. Okay, I like that. Marshall. There's just some kind of magic that's happening here that I can't find with this Friedman. I don't know what it is. And I don't know if you can hear it on your side, but I'm leaning towards this Marshall right now. And I haven't even messed with the EQ yet. All right, so let's test the gain stuff here. Let's go ahead and push the gain on this Friedman, right? We're gonna go to 3 o'clock. All right, let's go back to the Marshall. All right, so let's push the gain on that to about 3 o'clock, right? Go back to the Friedman. Okay, Friedman is definitely tighter. I can say that. The Marshall's a little looser, but it's a loose that I enjoy. I'm totally good with the way that sounds. So let's go back to the Marshall and see if we can tighten it up. Not that I really want to though, but let's see if we can do it. Let's cut the resonance. Let's push the bass a little bit just to see what it does. All right, so I pushed the treble and brought back the mids a little bit. Let's compare to the Friedman. Okay, now I'm wanting a little more presence out of this Friedman. Okay, Marshall. Okay, so let's try this approach. I'm going to use the Friedman and get the best tone I can out of it. Now I do like this amp with the gain pushed. That sounds pretty good. It's like right on the edge of needing a overdrive to push it into the metal territory, but it's definitely a rocker amp. You can do metal for sure at that point. It definitely does need a little bit of a push. All right, so let's go back to the Marshall. Ah, man. I don't know why, but I keep coming to this Marshall and it's just like, there's that thing that I'm missing from the Friedman. I feel like I can't get that out of all the EQ settings that's here. I can't get that out of this. Now, we know that the Friedman has direct outs and you probably have, I haven't tested it here and I won't be able to, but I'm sure the Friedman's, direct outs are great. So I'm pretty sure there's some YouTubers that have done that. But for me, just going through a cab, that's what I want to get out of this. don't think this even needs a overdrive pedal, but we're just gonna go ahead and do that since I'm here. I do have an overdrive pedal. I'm gonna go ahead and push it in. I got the CM2 tube overdrive. It's a hardware, just a old school kind of pedal. If you, back in the 90s and stuff, or maybe in the 2000s, probably came out in 2000s. These were pretty big back in the day. So let's go ahead and see what that sounds like. Now I want to bring back some of the resonance. That sounds awesome. Let's go over to the Friedman, see what that sounds like with the pedal. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay. Okay, that doesn't sound as good. You guys are hearing that too, right? Let's go back to the Marshall again. This is without. This is with. This is without. With. Okay. Let's go back to the Friedman. Without. With. Okay, let's give the Marshall a little more mids. Man, it's just, I feel like the Marshall's winning in all the EQ stands here. I do think there's a little more gain on the Friedman, but if we're comparing this, I would actually pick the Marshall over the Friedman. This thing is $1,600 new. It sounds great if that's all you got and that's all you want to do, and you want the JJ Jr. Signature, that's fine. But you could get all those tones out of this thing. Let's actually try that. Let's get a Friedman tone out of this Marshall. So it's definitely more mid forward, right? Definitely more treble. Less bass. All right, let's see what that sounds like. Push the middle. I mean, it might be the difference of that the Friedman would cut through a mix better. But just to my ear, this Marshall sounds great through this cab. These are V30 loaded, and you know, I'm impressed with this Marshall. I think I've seen this on Sweetwater for like $800, which that jumped up out of nowhere. I don't know what's up with that. I think these were, when they first came out, they were like $500 or something like that. I can't remember. But if you can find one used, which the guy that's buying mine today, if you're watching this, I hope you're enjoying this thing, because this thing is awesome compared to this $1,600 amp. It rules. And I hope you have a lot of fun with it. But hey, you know, got to keep items moving moving around here so we can test more stuff, show you guys different kind of things, different comparisons. So hope you guys liked it. If it was my choice between these two, I would absolutely go with the Marshall DSL20. That's my opinion. That's what I hear. That's what you got. DMD out.